to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about positive reinforcement, from what the 4 learning quadrants are, why positive reinforcement is scientifically proven to be the most effective and ethical way to train animals, and also how we can put that into practice with the animals in our care. So what are the 4 learning quadrants? The learning quadrants are a framework that explain the 4 ways that animals, both human and non-human, are able to learn. These 4 quadrants are known as positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishment. I'll explain what they all mean in a moment, but what is first important to know is that in terms of the learning quadrants, negative and positive do not refer to whether the learning model they refer to is good or bad. It simply means that in the 2 quadrants referred to as positive, something is added, and in the 2 that are referred to as negative, something is removed. Let's start with positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is the addition of something that the learner wants to increase the likelihood that the behaviour will occur more frequently in the future. Positive reinforcement is the base of positive training methods such as clicker training, in which a desirable reinforcer specific to the animal is offered to them when they do something that the trainer wants to see more of. For horses, this is usually food, rewards or scratches, as these are things that they value. Positive reinforcement aims to largely reduce and even eradicate the need to apply any of the other learning quadrants while training your animal. Next we have negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is the removal of something that the learner finds aversive, so something that they find unpleasant and maybe even threatening or painful, to increase the likelihood that the behaviour will happen again. This usually works by causing the animal to perform the desired behaviour to avoid experiencing the unpleasant feeling that will occur if they don't. They actively try to avoid the negative stimulus. Negative reinforcement is the foundation of all traditional training and even some forms of the more supposedly natural training, such as Parellian natural horsemanship. Pressure is applied and the horse performs the desirable behaviour in order to avoid discomfort. Good examples of negative reinforcement in action are when the rider kicks or whips the horse or even uses spurs, escalating the pressure until the horse does what they want, in which case the pressure is released as a supposed reward. I can tell you the horse does not find the release of pressure rewarding, and it should never be seen as that. They'll be stressed and simply relieved that the pain and discomfort has stopped. This type of training does work, but relies on scaring and putting uncomfortable, stressful and even painful pressure on the horse to force them to do as the trainer wishes. For this reason, it is seen as unethical and it is very unfair on the horse who does not enjoy the experience. Positive punishment is the addition of an unpleasant stimulus following a behaviour which makes the behaviour less likely to occur. Examples of this in horses would be hitting or whipping the horse, yanking on the bit or head, anything like that. Horses are very much distressed by this. Once again, it does yield results, but not in a kind or ethical way. It is very harsh and causes the horses involved a lot of pain and stress. And finally we have negative punishment. This refers to the removal of something that the animal wants following a behaviour that the handler finds undesirable in an attempt to make it less likely that the behaviour will occur again. In this situation with horses, the trainer removes something that they like and really want, such as food or access to companions, just to give you a few ideas, and then uses that as punishment for performing the behaviour that they disliked. This is very stressful for the horse, and although it does again produce results, it is very much at the expense of the horse's mental and physical well-being. In this case, the horse stops performing the behaviour as they are scared of losing valuable resources as a result. So why is positive reinforcement scientifically proven to be the most effective and ethical way to train animals, including horses? Positive reinforcement rewards the horse for what they are doing right and aims to ignore when they get it wrong. What's important to remember is that horses aren't humans, and what we perceive as wrong or naughty or bad-tempered isn't what they perceive this way. So many horses are labelled as badly behaved when they are actually just being horses, or even worse, are living in severely compromised environments and behaving in ways that attempt to communicate with us that they are struggling to cope. Due to the general lack of proper behavioural knowledge, this communication is so often ignored and even punished. The point is that horses have totally different agendas to us and don't understand when they have done something that we perceive as wrong. They also lack the ability to consciously go out of their way to annoy us or do things that upset us, so it is not actually physically possible for a horse to be naughty, rude or nasty. All of this behaviour is labelled through our perception of it, not the horse's, and in actual fact the horse is always trying to communicate fear, stress, discomfort or pain in these situations. In positive reinforcement, we aim to be as kind to the animal as possible. We accept that if they do something that we perceive as wrong, they probably don't understand it that way, and so instead of punishing them and leaving them confused and frightened, we ignore the less desirable behaviour and aim to show them a better way to respond, which we can reward. In the other 3 learning quadrants, the learner is only shown what they did wrong, which is not so helpful as they don't understand what they should be doing instead. Positive reinforcement, on the other hand, works to show the animal learner the right answer and encourage them to repeatedly do that to avoid the less desirable one. There is no punishment, no pain or discomfort, and the learner generally finds the process fun and safe. They come to trust their handler, who only helps them instead of being unkind to them, and as a result they thrive. They understand that they can say no without negative consequences, which can be so powerful for their mental and physical well-being, and they actually form strong bonds with their handlers and enjoy the work they do together, instead of being afraid of them and afraid of getting the wrong answer. As well as this, positive reinforcement is also proven to often create learning faster than the other quadrants, as it shows the learner the right answer. Although the process is broken down into smaller steps which might make it seem as though it would be slower, this not only serves to make the process more understandable for the learner, it also speeds up the learning process, as they are far more likely to get the right answer quicker and make progress, as opposed to constantly just being told that they are wrong and left to figure out what in the world the right answer might be. Chemicals such as serotonin, dopamine and oxytocin are released throughout the training, which boosts the animal's positive well-being and also their relationship with us, as we trainers become someone that they want to be around and spend time with in general, even outside of training. We come to represent something fun, safe and caring towards them. So what can we do with positive reinforcement? Honestly, the options are endless. There are many misconceptions about what you can't train with positive reinforcement, and in reality most things are actually possible. In terms of horses, there are all kinds of possibilities, from ridden work to groundwork, husbandry behaviours and even fun tricks and cognitive games. Horses can be retrained to lead nicely using positive reinforcement. They can also be completely backed and ridden away using this method, and are generally much safer and happier horses that don't buck or blow up a single time in their training, because they are so much more comfortable and willing, and also less scared of a rider climbing aboard due to their associations with the training, and also the much slower and smaller steps in the process. You can train your horse to navigate obstacles, jump, to have their feet trimmed, safely accept essential care such as veterinary procedures from blood work to oral care. Even high-level dressage movements can be trained, or you can teach your horse to paint, play fetch, or smile. I really mean it when I say that the options are endless. I hope this has inspired you to go outside and train your own horse in a fun and ethical way with positive reinforcement.